Over the past several years, professional sports leagues across the country have taken some very bold stands on important cultural issues. Think about the NFL bravely putting the words "end racism" on their helmets, or the NHL holding Pride Nights to celebrate the 3 gay people in the world who watch hockey. There are many more examples, each more inspiring than the last, but all of them pale in comparison to this. It's just been announced that every major sports league in the country, and also Major League Soccer as well, are coming together and combining forces for a new campaign called #TimeOutAgainstHate. They're finally taking a stand against hate. They are courageously declaring that hate is bad. They don't like hate. You shouldn't like it either. That's what they're saying. Here's Today.com with more. Quote, commissioners from the biggest leagues in sports have united to spread a new campaign called #TimeOutAgainstHate. The first of its kind campaign, launched by New England Patriots CEO Robert Kraft's Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, is reinterpreting the timeout gesture in professional sports to symbolize a fight against intolerance. To reach as many sports fans as possible, Kraft has teamed up with Commissioners Rob Manfred of Major League Baseball, Don Garber of Major League Soccer, Adam Silver of the National Basketball Association, Kathy Engelbert of the Women's National Basketball Association, Roger Goodell of the National Football League, Gary Bettman of the National Hockey League, Jessica Berman of the National Women's Soccer League, and Steve Phelps of NASCAR to help create ads featuring leaders and top athletes. Those ads will play across all major leagues throughout the next year. 3 of the commissioners, Goodell, Silver, and Berman, joined Kraft for a sit-down with today's Craig Melvin about the anti-hate initiative. And I know you're hoping that that's a lead-in to watch some of that very important interview. And, well, you're in luck because we are going to watch some of it. Get ready to be inspired. Here it is.
The professional sports community calling on all Americans to take a timeout.
Things are getting out of control out there.
It's part of a new ad campaign called Time Out Against Hate, featuring sports figures urging people to pause and regroup in the fight against intolerance.
Hate is winning out there.
The message powerful enough to prompt a rare sight. Patriots owner Robert Kraft, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, National Women's Soccer League Commissioner Jessica Berman, and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver all in the same room.
Why do people call a timeout during a game? They call it because they have to regroup. They're not winning. Something bad is going on that has to be corrected or fixed. And that was our thinking here.
The campaign is the brainchild of Kraft, who initially launched his foundation to combat anti-Semitism 5 years ago. Back in January, Kraft joined the commissioners of the NFL, the NBA, the WNBA, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, the National Women's Soccer League, the National Hockey League, and NASCAR, all for a special closed-door meeting to address expanding his mission.
Take us inside that room. What was said? What was done?
I think all of us came to learn and to get educated on what's really going on in our society. And as Robert says, with hate across all boundaries.
A recognition that hate is a contagion. It's not just about the person or the group that it's directed at. That it's harmful to society at large.
Wow. Tremendous. Tremendous insight. Did you hear that? Hate is harmful to society. In the words of Robert Kraft, something bad is going on that has to be corrected. What a profound statement. You can tell that he's reflected on this issue quite deeply. In fact, the last time Robert Kraft put this much thought into something, he was trying to decide which massage parlor to visit in South Florida, allegedly. One thing we know for sure is that the guy likes to take a hands-on approach, allegedly. And now with this anti-hate timeout gesture, the hands are doing the job once again, allegedly. Anyway, the point is that we really need to stop and reflect on the audacity, the determination, the grit of these billionaires who are standing up and making such a controversial statement. Hate is bad. This reminds me of the time when I embarked on a nationwide campaign to protest stubbed toes. I had signs and bumper stickers and PSAs made and everything. And I was really spreading the message that stubbing your toe is bad. It's better to not stub your toe. Nobody should ever have to have a stubbed toe, these days. Anyone who's in favor of stubbing toes, anyone who's engaged in pro-toe stubbing propaganda is wrong. And I wasn't afraid to call them out. Being a husband, father, and host of my own show means life never slows down. Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables every day. That sounds miserable and time-consuming. But with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, there has never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure you get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables every day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and vegetables, they freeze dry them, turn them into a powder, and then put them into a capsule. You take your fruit and veggie capsules every day, and then your body knows what to do with them. Go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code Walsh for 35% off your first preferred order as a preferred customer, plus get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Walsh. And you know, I thought, and many people thought, that I was a hero for that campaign, and I was, but this surpasses even those efforts. And by the way, you saw a snippet of it in the last clip, but here is the full anti-hate PSA that all the professional sports leagues got together to produce. And by the way, also, if you're a sports fan, as I am, then you can look forward to seeing this PSA and ones like it incessantly over and over again in every commercial break for every sport for the next year, which is really exciting. Let's watch it.
Time out, time out, time out, time out, time out!
Listen up, get tight.
This is the most important timeout I've ever called.
Things are getting out of control out there, and we need to regroup.
Hate.
Hate is winning out there.
Not on these fields.
In our communities. On our streets. In our schools.
And we need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout
On hate. Together. Together.
Again, I say, wow. Wow. I, for one, am convinced. I'm going to stop hating. You know, I'd always thought that hate was good, but then I saw Shaquille O'Neal calling a timeout on hate, and I realized that I was wrong. In fact, I was sitting around with some other people. We were all hating, and then this ad came up, and I said, gee whiz, guys, you know, let's just take a time out on all this hating. What do you folks say? And they said, you're right. You're right. Now, although come to think of it, timeouts are temporary. So does that mean we all have to stop hating for just a few minutes and then we can start hating again? Are we calling a timeout on hate so that we can catch our breath and regroup and draw up a new play and get out there and hate even more effectively? Is that the point? Is this a chance to swap in some fresh haters who can go in there and hate with more energy? Also, how many hate timeouts do we get per half? Do we get a new set of timeouts in the second half? What about overtime? If there's an injury in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, do we lose one of our hate timeouts? What happens when we run out of hate timeouts? Won't the hate get completely out of control again? So there are a lot of unanswered questions, but let's not get hung up on those details. All we need to know is that they've called a timeout, at least for now, and so there will be no more hating. Can we still hate bad things? Can we hate cancer and hurricanes? Can we hate head lice and juvenile diabetes? Can we hate serial killers? Can we hate hatred? Don't we have to hate hatred in order to participate in the timeout against hate? But how can we hate hatred if we aren't allowed to hate at all? Aren't we discovering here that hatred isn't actually bad in and of itself? Isn't a campaign against hate not only so broad as to be meaningless, but also morally misguided? If you have no hatred in your heart for anything at all, it doesn't mean that you're full of love. After all, you cannot love people and also love the things that harm and destroy people. That'd be a contradiction in terms. Loving people, in fact, requires hatred. It requires that you hate the things that interfere with the well-being of the people you love. In fact, that could very well be the definition of love. So, if you hate nothing, it must mean that you're indifferent. Isn't an anti-hatred campaign then actually a promotion of indifference? And isn't indifference itself even worse than hatred? Did Jesus not say that it's better to be hot or cold than lukewarm? Yes, well, that all might be the case, but Let's not focus on the negative. We can't anyway. They just called a timeout on that sort of thing. Let's focus on the bravery it requires to take a moral stand that is not only vague and ambiguous, but also, when it comes down to it, actually wrong. That's what matters now. And it's why hatred is today, at least temporarily, canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.